Hello, colleagues. I wanted to give you some information about the assessment share to clarify some questions that you may have. So you're going to select an assessment of your choice. This may be an assessment that you give routinely in your school, in your district. It may be an assessment that you have created or your team has created that you have a rubric or something to follow along with, and you can describe the pros and cons of the assessment. Or it could be an assessment that you just would like to explore or that you've heard about. So you want to select your assessment, and then you want to post it on the discussion board so that everyone in the class knows that that's your assessment, so we don't have duplicates and we have multiple assessments for people to learn about. You're going to think about describe who the audience is, who you would give this assessment to, and provide some type of citation for the assessment so that in case anyone wants to research it further or find the assessment, you've provided that information for them. So you can choose from any assessments that you choose. We talked about a few of them, perhaps AimsWeb, Dibbles. You can provide the Gray oral reading test. You might have an oral language assessment. You might provide a checklist of writing, some type of fluency scale. It's really open to whatever type of assessment that you would like to choose. You're going to provide a brief description of the assessment in your write-up. The purpose for the assessment, if it has multiple components to it, what does it assess, and how often should it be administered, what are the directions for administering it, and what types of materials that you need for the assessment. So you may not have this assessment in your possession to be able to show, but if you go to the website or find some research or information about the assessment, you can simply provide some illustrations, some pictures, some screenshots, or reference the website that you found the information on. And people may have reviewed this assessment, so there may be some pros to the assessment, some cons, or some reviews of what classroom teachers or reading specialists, what people have said are really good about the assessment, and then some things that you may have to consider adding another assessment. So for example, map testing, a digital platform, or STAR testing. The pros to that are simply, it's a multiple choice assessment. You don't need a teacher there to administer the assessment, and it provides a lot of graphs and charts, and it's really an automatic response. Some of the cons are that you're not really sure whether the student guessed at the answers, how fast the student took the assessment. You can't observe the student taking the assessment. There isn't an opportunity to sort of take any type of anecdotal notes. So you really just think about the pros and cons of the assessment. And then you're going to provide just a brief 10 or 12-minute video. So this video might really be Google Slides that you share with a voiceover. You might provide a video like I'm using right now with Screen-O-Matic or Loom or whatever type of platform that you choose. You might choose to initiate a Zoom call and then record yourself talking on the Zoom. So there's multiple ways to be able to create your video. You might use your phone, right, and just video yourself talking and administering parts of the assessment, however you choose to interact with the particular video. But you're really teaching your colleagues what this assessment is all about, just giving an overview. So it's not detailed. You don't need to know every single aspect, or if you choose a standardized assessment, you don't need to know the statistical information behind the assessment itself, but just a brief overview of the assessment so that people have multiple opportunities to learn more about many assessments. And then you're going to post this to the wiki page. So you'll have a space where you'll post your name and it will say your assessment share, and that's where you'll provide this information for your colleagues. Within the wiki share, there'll also be places where people will just be posting 1 or 2 lines about an assessment for a sort of a digital diagnostic kit where they're really collecting different assessments and just looking at their purpose. That's different from the assessment share where you're really providing the video and the teaching and posting it to the wiki page. I'm happy to answer any other questions you might have through email, or we can set up a Zoom conference call or a phone call conversation if you would like to engage in further discussion around the assessment share.